Hey, good day, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn, the active trend trader. Thank you for joining us for this weekend session of the How to Make Money Trading Stocks weekly live stream that we do every Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. We do two things. Basically, we check out the indexes are doing, what they could be shaping up for next week. And also, when available, we will highlight a couple of stocks, maybe up to 3 stocks that may have a potential of moving next week. And so, with no further ado, let's get into this week's session. Here it comes. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. I want to welcome everybody to How to Make Money Trading Stocks. It's a live stream webinar that we do every week and on Friday. Now, we're going to have some changes going into the October timeframe. I'm going to be basically shaping this up a little bit differently, where we're going to be jumping more directly into the charts. I hope, Steve, I hope will continue to participate, because I love having him on board, because he has, it's good to provide a couple of different views or perspectives of particular stocks. And that's what we provide for you. Just remember that what we do is for training purposes, and traders should always paper trade anything, any new issue prior to with paper money, prior to trying to risk their own money. Basically, I want to provide a timely, actionable intel that clarifies, simplifies, and provides trading decisions to multiply your profits and minimize your risk. Here's where I'm sitting this week, Steve. Basically, last week's headlines were butt fang earnings. I mean, that's taken right from last week's slide. And as we saw, everything except, I think Google was the only FANG stock that basically reacted well to earnings. At the same time, what about this week? We've had an uptick in the virus worldwide. I don't know if it's been so much in the U.S., but across the rest of the globe, yes, it has. The countries are looking at additional or more stringent lockdowns again, and then also here in the U.S., we've got the election coming up, and the election is kind of the big, what's going to happen with the election, and so we'll find out what's going on. And the question I'll leave everybody with is the market flashing a timeout? Just going, you know what? There is a perfect time, or there's a time in every market when it's best just to circle the wagons, pull to the sidelines, take protective measures. And that's one thing great about trading a system like the active trend trading system is, we try to cut our profits out of the middle of the move. At the same time, we expect the system to get us out of the market into cash when the market starts to sour. And that's exactly what's happening. The market has started to sour, and it's actually pulling us out. Are we experiencing, we're having some low level, small losses, but it's still getting us out without any damage, without very much damage, because one, we want to have capital to be able to trade again. As I said, Steve doesn't have a stock today, so with no further ado, let's jump into the individual charts. And I'm still pleased because we're still up about 50%, even though the market the Dow went back to being in the red. S&P may finish today in the red. NASDAQ still up nicely. Russell has also weakened going into the rest of them. So let's take a look at what I'm seeing in the charts. Very interesting. And part of the question we wanted to that I want to answer today is it time to take on a more of a downside bias? David asked, points something out very specifically. It's too early to go long, but then it's too late to get short. At the same time, and I understand that because that happens so oftentimes, especially if you're a trend follower, is basically you have to get the trend to reverse before you can actually jump onto a trade. what I'm looking at is now that the index has dropped. Oh, there we go. Hold on a second. I got to change one thing here. There we go. Once the price action starts dropping through these, through the moving averages, and the moving averages start tipping and pointing down, then one of the things we can look at is any type of a move back up into the moving averages is an opportunity to get short. I think I received Eric sent me an email this week and just said, or a text message and said, hey, we are experiencing some issues with, there we go, with what's going on in the market from the aspect of it appears like we are now heading to the downside. What do we want to look at? Okay, one, we undercut, this low here and on the S&P. So yeah, and we also, as we were dropping, we had a swing low here and we had a swing low here. Both of those have been cut. Any rally attempt that's happened in the S&P has been cut short, and we've dropped down. Again, partly due to indecision on the marketplace, but we highlighted to our members way back here on the middle of October. We were saying, hey, we're probably going to roll over, and we did some trades with IWM that profited us to the downside. So taking a look at the other thing that I find interesting, I haven't switched over to the Qs yet, is look at the range of this week's downside candlestick. It is larger than anything we've had going all the way back to this little correction back in June. And also then, where was the last one before that? It was back in February. So we may very well be in for more downside. At least that's the way you can trade it, because it is flashing a downside signal to us. The NASDAQ is again also looking weak. Come on, here we go. But we're approaching, as with the S&P, we're approaching levels of, look to your left. What are we approaching? We're approaching these levels of support. This is where buyers came in before. So what am I anticipating? Is if I get into this level down in here, let's say we're already in it to some extent, I can be on the lookout for a move back up to the upside. I want to see some kind of a move on my momentum, because what's happened this week is we've had an acceleration of momentum to the downside. And when that happens, we oftentimes want to say, hey, let's just hold on, keep your powder dry, wait for a reversal signal down here where there's an abundant level of buyers, and to move to the upside. That's what I'm looking at on the Qs. Again, if we break out of this, today's low, look for a retrace all the way down there to 261. So prior to the election, what I want to do, I just want to basically watch, be ready. If there's any kind of a snafu with counting the votes, in other words, it takes more than a couple of days to determine who the winner of the election is, look for continued market instability and indecisiveness, and which can equate to more downside pressure. IWM, we gapped down from this, this rollover kind of top, dropped the breakout level there at 155, and now we're holding at one level. Look to your left, buyers that came in here, another buyers that came in down here. So but it looks a little bit like, and I'll let Steve talk to this also, this looks a little bit like a flag, a bear flag, in other words. And oftentimes those horizontal flags can break down. What's the projected downside? The projected downside on a flag like this would be, and I'll just give you a quick technical approach to this is the flag is basically the minimum move. So if that's the top of the flagpole, this is where the bottom of the flag is. Take that. And then we basically, darn it. Give you some projection to the downside on how far. Activate that. There we go. How far it could, in fact, fall to the downside. Let's see if we can activate that again. There we go. There we go. So now that's in place. And now I want to basically just grab that or duplicate it. Go down to the bottom of flag. This is the flagpole. And then the expected potential move is just, there we go, from that flagpole. Or you can actually, there's a couple of different ways. The conservative way is to take it from the top of the flag, which is there. And as you can see, where does it put us? It puts us right back down into, look over here on the left, right back down into these levels. Now that's the technical move to the downside. So what makes that a bear flag? Barry, that's a great question. What makes it a bear flag is that basically we've had a downward move. We now have a new short-term downtrend in the, and so any type of a rally attempt could be considered a bear flag. Since that is moving horizontal, we've got a defined level of support, a defined level of resistance. You can categorize it as a bear flag. Some people may a flag. You can also get a flag that goes back up into the moving averages, but oftentimes we just have to wait for the moving averages to get back down to it. So that's why. So that's what I'm saying. So Steve, that's what I'm looking at. What do you think, man?
I had to unmute myself. I agree pretty much with what you're saying. I think nothing has really changed other than we're waiting for the binary event next Tuesday.
Right.
Technically, short term, we're in a downtrend, but I think we're just testing, and it's most obvious in this S&P, the ES futures or the SPY. We're testing September's lows, and we'll see whether we hold there or not.
Yep.
Sort of change the game plan depending on what happens. Longer term, I remain bullish, but we certainly are not trading bullishly right now. Yeah.
And so, now for you, okay, like I said, short term, because these we've dropped down below these moving averages that I monitor, and we've had a crossover of the 820 moving average. Short term, that changes my bias to be more on the lookout for downside trades. In other words, pullbacks up into the moving averages to drop, or flipping it over and trading as an example. And my bandwidth just is really awful today. Come on.
And the other thing I'm noticing is most stocks are trading at or near or below the 50 MA, but there are a handful are holding the 20s.
Exactly.
And those would be the ones I probably favor once I believe the market is turned back to the upside.
Yeah. So here's the cues. And so one of the things a person can do is, here's cues. They came down and came up, hit the moving average. If you don't want to trade, if you're not familiar with doing puts or bearish trades with options, you can always look at the inverse. And Eric loves to play the inverses of the Qs and all that kind of stuff. And Qs did this, or SQQQ came down, retested at the 8, and then rebounded up. This is a great way if you only want to trade in the up direction where it's going up from left to right. Be familiar with the leveraged index ETFs, and they'll help you out in that way. And this is one of the things that I'm covering on that Wednesday YouTube video that I'm doing, and it's called Stocks and Option Trades weekly update. So I hope you can have a chance to join me on that. You can find it over Market Tech Talk. So yeah, Stephen. So there's an opportunity there. Again, I'm of the mind. I have a couple of stocks you can take a look at. I would just I'll throw these out there as thoughts. Is we want to look for things that will hold up. One that has been holding up fairly well has been ZTO. Now, of course, it may fall out of the sky now, but if it takes out these lows, I'm gone out of ZTO. But as you can see, it was trying to rally, but it failed. And whenever you get these failed rallies, watch out for an additional downside, because guess what? It's not done going down. So that's all I have for any stocks. Steve, anything come to mind for you other than just?
For me, BABA looks interesting. BABA.
BABA.
But it's not yet a trade, but it's getting close.
Yeah. So I have a question. Here's a question I will put out. I'm not expecting to get necessarily an answer, but if Joe Biden wins the election, will Chinese stocks rally? Now, again, no, please do not answer that online. It's just a thought that I'm having. I'm sitting there going, this is kind of interesting. So BABA, it looks good. It does have earnings coming up.
Has earnings coming up, yes.
Yep, 11.5. And so, but I'm just wait, and not a darn thing. Just I'm going to keep my powder dry. I'll let things work their way out. One of the stocks that we did have a trade in was, and hopefully it is continuing to move. I'm going to write that down. I wanted to take one look at what's going on with the FANG stocks. When the FANG stocks are, and I want to take a look at Apple real quick, and then we'll jump off. But Apple, what happened with Apple? Okay, Apple is going to continue to be a great company. It will continue to be a great company, but we may get some specific significant pullback. Here's a good time. Okay, here's a great time to be doing two things over this weekend. One, it is the end of the month today. So we want to take a look at both, what are the longer term charts telling us? And here's my longer term charts. I want to see what's going on with the monthly chart. Well, as you can see, momentum on a monthly basis is pointed down. Where might it drop to? Well, there are a couple of ways to determine that. I can go over here and also momentum and all that kind of stuff on the weekly chart is also pointed down. But where is it likely to go? Where is it likely to find some support? And this is what I'll be doing this weekend, taking a look at, okay, what do we want to grab it there? I'm doing a simple Fibonacci on this. And get it to click in. There we go. And it didn't click in. Dadgummit. Let's try that again. I'm trying to get it to click in right there at that low. There we go. It clicked in that time. And let's go up to the past high. And where's it likely to go? Well, it's likely to go into this little box right here. And I call this the magic fib box. And so this is what might happen with Apple. When, where is the value zone on Apple where it becomes a potential good buy, a thing you want to entertain getting into a longer term position? Well, right there is a really great place. That's the magic fib box between the 382 and the 618. And as you can notice, look at the 618 corresponds just about, not quite, but just about to that breakout level that we had right there at 81.90. So that's the way I'd be looking at that. So let's see what I got here. We got some comments. Eric, I agree. China up. Steve, Barry asked, will a bear flag with a gap attempt to close the gap before heading down? We never know, Barry, whether it will or not. Not necessarily. There's oftentimes multiple, like when you get runaway gaps and all that kind of stuff, it will eventually close, but it doesn't necessarily have to close before it goes back down. He's short XLE. Okay, and then Mark, but they're already made their money with their offering. Okay. Baba now trading with traders around the world. So, okay. So, hey guys, that's all I've got today. Steve, it's just one of those kind of weekends where, global events and national events are taking away the opportunity to, get into some trades. But again,
you trade the chart and not what you believe. Yeah.
That's exactly correct. So let's just roll out the rest of this and just basically remember learn to focus on the process. The profits will follow. And then the question I have today, last 2 months of the year, is the market going to crash or is the market going to rally? In your opinion, if you could just answer that down in the chat box, or if you're this discussion, if you're joining us on YouTube. And if you're a YouTube member, hey, remember, we're going to be putting up new content every week on Wednesday. And so if you don't want to miss that, it's going to be posted on the YouTube channel, Market Tech Talk. So subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get the notification when we do that update. And it's about a 15-minute video where I'm going to be talking about specific, I'm going to be talking about just basically some ideas about option and stock trades. And of course, premium active trend trading members and top fives, you guys get the good stuff because I send out the specific information on how I'm trading it to you guys. So if you are looking for one of those, you can join us on the Power Rank Elite Top 5. This is our entry-level membership, one step above our free membership. And basically for about $20 a month, you get, 5 of the best stocks that are getting set up to trade every week. And that show both opportunities to get in, where, and basically the stop losses and all that kind of stuff to protect your capital. Hey everybody, this is Dennis Wilborn, active trend trader. One of the things I promote all the time is learn how to journal. It'll make you a more consistent trader. One of the things I'm additionally proud of is my youngest son, Brandon, who developed these 2 journals, a mini journal and a full-size journal that'll enable you to basically journal all your trades, follow the active trend trading rules, and it is a top seller on Amazon. So I put the links down in the description that'll basically show you how to take advantage of these 2 journals. Either one of them, they are fantastic. Aloha. And so I just wanted to, here is me yesterday. I was doing my patriotic duty by voting. So I got in there, and as you can see, I was wearing my mask. See, so I was, but down where we are, I was definitely socially distanced. There wasn't anybody within like 100 yards of me. So anyway, we're having some fun. So remember, Steve, thanks a lot for joining us. Just, from our home to yours, aloha, trade well, prosper, keep sharpening the saw, and mahalo, God bless. And we have a subscribe button coming up, and also there's a video you can check on later. So until next week, aloha, God bless.